Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Gersha from Technical Option Traders Inc. Hope you guys are having a great day. So let's get started on what's been going on in the markets this week. And starting off with the S&P 500, so had a nice rally here with the Fed announcing that they could be looking to pivot here. But you guys got to understand this is a main trend line that we have that we're following right now. Okay, so this trend line is a key level that is rejected every time, and the pivots or the distance from the trend line towards these pivot levels down here has started to decrease, so to say, little by little, right? However, if we look at the bigger picture on the weekly chart, one could argue that this is almost like a bull flag that's forming in a bigger time frame, but that we're not going to get into that too much right now. But what we want to focus on is the key technical levels, right? So right now, previously price action rejected around this level, which is the 435 and the 430 level, right? So this was a key area. So now we do have the trend line, down trend line here, which it is testing. Okay, so what we want to see is first we have a rejection, which is fine. But if we look at a smaller time frame on the 2-hour chart, it's rejected that, and now it's holding and consolidating that. So this is a very big plus sign for us, and that's what we want to see, a rejection and consolidation, right? So this is a positive sign for us. That means we're starting to see some sort of confluence here, okay? Some sort of price acceptance here, which is what we want to see. And this trend is holding up so far, right? So we'll wait to see what happens. But right now, if I was to play a bullish position, it would make sense. But I'm not in a position right now, per se. What I'm looking for is a clean breakthrough. We had a nice spike in green volume. What I want to see is a breakthrough with a heavy volume. Then I'll be confident that we can push through 418 to 420, and then even to 430, which will set up a nice swing position. But for now, if we look at it right here, if we use our channel trend line here, one could argue that this is starting to shape up to be a bear flag in a way as well, right? So there's multiple, there's multiple technicals that are setting up in between and smaller time frames. That's why if you're trading, you must be looking into all sorts of time frames, and you must have a multi-dimensional view on things, right? But right now, the main factor is on a daily time frame. We break through this trend line with volume is a key factor, right? Now, the biggest catalyst for this move right here was Jerome Powell's speech. However, if you guys paid attention to Jerome Powell's speech, he did not necessarily say that the Fed is going to ease off. He said they will explore and view. It was very vague, the wording that he used, right? So now there's another thing that you guys must be aware of. Every time the Fed has pivoted previously, you guys must be aware that that time the market fell further down instead of rising up. That has led to a market crashes. So make sure you guys look into that and just see what's going on. But for now, the key level, if I'm looking for a downwards move, is a break of 394. This would be a key level for me because, as you guys can see, price acceptance here. If I'm looking for a move to the upside, what I'm looking for is a break of this trend line right about here, right above here, and then we can start pushing upwards. But these are two levels that I'm watching right now. In between, if we go on a 4-hour chart, you guys can see there's a huge fluctuation and a huge consolidation. So especially if you're an options trader, you've been hit with decay in this time frame, unless you traded this one particular move. But overall, you can see the periods from 393 to 406 is not necessarily a huge move, so to say, but you know what I mean. When you have price going to 403, then rejecting back, testing, and not pushing back up, it is setting up to be a nice move, I do believe, which could come in the following weeks. Looking at triple Q has been the hardest hit, especially looking at the weekly. Triple Q broke through multiple levels to the downside, but unfortunately it struggled to come back to the upside, right? So if we look at the triple Q right now and we look at the weekly time frame, we can see it's trying to push back up to this trend line. It's pivoted from here and it's held off this level right about here, which is 254 level, right? However, one thing we do want to realize or focus on is the triple Qs have been absolutely destroyed, okay? So even as much as we want to give the growth a benefit of the doubt, but if you look at growth right now, overall the triple Q stocks went down 37% so far year to date. To this day, they're down 28%. So pretty steep decline, if you ask me. But this trend line is key, is still holding to the downside. If we do break this level of 254, we go back and test the COVID highs at 233. But let's look at the daily time frame. We're starting to see a consolidation like we see in SPY. Okay. This is a head and shoulder pattern that we shouldn't ignore. Over here. So just if you guys want me to try it out for you, one could say like this, and like this, right? And you got like this as your neckline right here. And now it's going back to test this neckline right about here. So, we could see a breakthrough if we really wanted to the upside, but we have to be very patient with that, right? So that means price action, this red line that I have right here at 330, it has to break through this to the upside, okay? So if we do break through this area, the main area that I am watching would be right here, 305. Okay, 305 to 311. So if we look at the smaller time frame, the 305 to 311 time frame is when this big sell, as you guys can see, came right here, right? Then this area was also the area, right, where we had multiple consolidations and then breakdowns. So I do want to see this area get taken out. So it's been tested, and every time this area got tested, market fell except for this one time where it tested a trend line. So right now, we can see the market test this area, break through, and go back and test the 330 level, which is why you see this red trend line right about here. That's horizontal as a pivot point for me to see, okay, growth could finally be reversing. But with all these massive tech layoffs that are happening right now, it may not be the case for the Qs. We could see a rejection anyway in this area. So that's something that we want to be wary of, okay? Dow Jones, on the other hand, is the only stock or the only index that I would say is back to an argument's sake into its bullish category. It's back to this long-term consolidation zone that it's had for going for some time before it finally broke down. It tested, it broke down again, and we've had this massive vertical rally, okay? Whenever we have a vertical rally, there's one important thing that you guys must be aware of. Vertical rallies are always a sign of, you could say a whiplash or like a whip effect in a way, because vertical rallies, they have to have an area of consolidation, right? So we have some sort of consolidation here, but it's not long enough to have price acceptance. But now, if we look at the smaller time frame, we look at a 2-hour time frame, we are getting consolidation in this area. What I want to see is a breakout of 347. If we get a 347 breakout, we will easily push to 354, right? But then right now the market's been moving based on the news that's been coming out. So more positive news in the market could essentially push this towards a 354, but that remains a key area which it hasn't been able to capture for a long time now, since April of 2022. Okay, so that's been quite some time since the price action has traded above this area. So we must keep an eye on this, and we'll see where the Dow leads us. IWM, on the other hand, so we got the downtrend lines here. It's looking like it wants to break out. It's accepted this pattern. It went back and tested the 2019 highs, consolidated. So we can say this is like almost like a double bottom here, and it's trying to push out of these levels, right? So we'll see what it does. But right now, it's a nice move. But the problem is that with this move, it's on declining volume. Okay, the volume is going down while the price action is going the other way. So to me, this is a divergence in a way as well, right? So this move that's trying to take out all these you can say short sellers or people that are covering their shorts. It could be powerful, but it needs to get above this level right about here, which is 192, and then we can have an easy flip to 202. So that's a 10-point move, and then from there 209, right? But 209 will be the critical level to watch for IWM. This is a level that's utmost important because this will push it back to its long-term range where it consolidated from and where the move fell, right? So this is something that we want to pay attention to when there is when there's a price is pushing up but the volume is declining. Does that mean participants going down? And remember, in December, we do have something where there's tax loss selling, so which could cause a lot of this movement to be volatile to our downside. There's two things that could happen: a Santa rally, or we can have tax loss selling. Well, it depends on how people are positioned in their portfolios. So we'll have to take a look at that. And right now, the VIX is something important that we want to watch. It's come to this area, consolidated, it broke down. To be very plain and simple, VIX just needs to get below this level, which is 14. Once it breaks below this, we'll have more confidence that the market is returning to normal levels. But the fact that the VIX has not broken down, it means there's still elevated risk. However, the VIX on the short term did break its trend line, so that it is pushing down, which gives us some confidence. Also, at the same time, as you guys can see right about here, you can see the yields have started to take a hit. The 2-year, 10-year, right? They started to come down a little bit. So if we look at the 2-year has a nice decline to it, even on the monthly and the weekly. So it's telling us something. The 10-year is starting to come down as well, right? So these are all signs that the market is starting to price in something that's coming in a few days or a few weeks, right? So if we want to look at the monthly time frame, look at this. Let's look at the gold here. Gold is telling us that it's still in a cup and handle position, okay, on the monthly time frame, so which takes some time to formulate. So right now gold tested this level around 156, broke it, went back. Now it's back at 167. Gold is trying to push up back towards its 190 level. We'll see what it does. Gold is one of those stocks that one of those sectors that goes up, as a hedge, right? So this is what we're arguing here, that this whole consolidation is basically cup and handle, and then we're going to see a breakout of here, and we can push up towards the 220 230 zones, right? So we'll see what happens with gold. And usually before a recession happens, or when a recession happens, gold does skyrocket. So we'll see this is something that we do want to watch for. If you're a Bitcoin trader, you trade Bitcoin, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but other than the fact that what the technicals are saying, the technicals you see here, price accepted itself, right? So price wants to break down, and it's really and it has done so. It consolidated in this area for quite some time, and then it finally broke down, tested this level. Now it's bouncing back up. If you get a break above 20,600, we can get a nice push to about 22,000. But this still has a long-term downside, right? So if you look at a technical, this was a bear flag. It broke down, then after that there was like no real recovery, right? So I would even argue that possibly Bitcoin could come back and retest the 28,000 in the future. But right now, if I'm a Bitcoin trader or I'm a Bitcoin holder, depending on where you bought for, you've lost a substantial amount of money, right? So you really want to pay attention to the technicals, and you want to really pay attention to the price action of Bitcoin and kind of see where it leads you. But for now, if I'm trading Bitcoin, I'm staying away from it because it's long periods of consolidations that are coming into Bitcoin. It could be this is accumulation, so not really sure of that right now. There's no signs of that, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens, but so far it's something that I would stay away from. And overall, the markets are very mixed as of Friday. That's something to keep an eye on as well. So we'll see what happens in the markets in the coming weeks. But this was my analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.